Welcome to our very first bottom 5 on the Dice Tower. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. I'm Sam.
I'm JT.
Now, this does not mean that we're talking about the worst games in whatever category that we're talking about.
Kind of sounds like it.
It does. But this is actually just the bottom 5 of our top 10 games with dragons in them. Now, that's very specific because we tried doing top 10 dragon games.
Yep.
And that was a little bit hard to track down. I even looked at a bunch of geek lists that were made on Board Game Geek.
Uh-huh.
They're pretty old.
They are pretty old.
Now, why are we doing the top 10 games with dragons in them? Well, number one, it's 2024. It's the year of the dragon.
Number 2, I like dragons.
And number 2, he likes dragons. He really likes dragons. And number 3, this is to commemorate the release of Wyrmspan.
Indeed.
So that's something that we're going to be probably hitting up on the channel over on the Flipside. You can come check that out later on. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into it. This is our bottom 5. So numbers 10 through 6 in our top 10 games with dragons in them.
How many crossovers are going to be? At least one.
There better be one. There better be one. I am calling foul if there is not at least one. I am saying probably...
I'm saying 2.
I'm saying...
There should be 10.
I'm saying,
There's only 10 dragon games.
I'm saying 3.
Okay.
I'm saying there's going to be 3 crossovers. That's over across the entire list, not just...
in these 5.
In these bottom 5. So my number 10. And this is like an... If I had a list of games with dragons in them and I didn't mention this, I feel like I would be a laughing stock.
Okay.
Now, it's not necessarily a board game.
Uh-oh.
It's an RPG. Dungeons and Dragons.
All right.
All right. Now, we use, or I don't play as much as I used to, but when we played together, we used 5th edition, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's probably the one that's the one that's most recently in my memory is 5th edition. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the best. I don't even know all of the up and up discussion about which edition is best.
Mm-hmm.
You'd probably be better at discussing that than I would.
Depends on the day. Depends on the day.
But I've played Dungeons and Dragons a lot. Now, I haven't played just Dungeons and Dragons. I've played Palladium's systems. I've played some other superhero system that I can't remember who made. And I've played Cyberpunk. And role-playing games are great. But if we're talking about a bunch of games that have dragons in it, we have to mention Dungeons and Dragons. It's like the OG.
I love Dungeons and Dragons. I play it all the time. It's not on my list.
Oh my
goodness!
A board
game. Not a board game.
It's a game.
But it's a fantastic game with dragons.
Wow. All right.
All right. My number 10 is a kid's game from 2019. Synapsis Games called Incubation.
Incubation? I've never even heard of this game.
It's a dragon game. It's a game about dragons. You are grabbing dragon eggs.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a kid's game. So you're rolling a couple of dice. You're getting resources, either fire or water. There's this rotating board in the middle that has all these different dragons and eggs on it that you can pick up. But you're getting these dragon eggs. You're collecting the fire and water. You don't know what's on the back of the dragon egg until you've collected enough fire and water to put on it. Then you flip it over and you hatch this little baby dragon. And you're hatching baby dragons for points. I mean, it's just a cute little kid's game. Cool. There's some different things that combo off, some things that fire off, some extra, points and stuff for you. But and then within the dragon cards themselves, there's some set collection. But it's a very cute little game.
That's cool.
We have it at home.
Never heard
Hawken
of it.
Likes it. We've been playing it for...
You said it was by Nexus?
No, by Synapsis.
Synapsis,
games.
Okay.
But it's a very cute little game. It's got really cute artwork. Yeah.
All right, cool. Incubation. I've never heard of it. You learn something new every day.
Right on.
All right, my number 9. My number 9 is a game that I actually still own a whole tub of.
Sweet.
and it's out in the garage. I don't have it in here because we rarely ever play because it has an excruciatingly long setup time. But the setup time is part of the fun of the game, and I get that. This is an OG. There are a number of different dragons that you can get in this game. It's called Heroescape.
Yep.
Heroescape is an amazingly fun game. The only thing that really keeps it off of my table most of the time is that teardown time. Like I said earlier, the building of the terrain is part of the fun. It's really, if you like doing Legos, that's kind of the same idea. Scratches the same kind of itch. You're building this terrain, and it looks amazing. Such a great table presence. Playtimes is not that long.
No.
But the setup and the teardown is what really, really it's the teardown that really keeps this because I just don't want to have to reorganize it all after you've pulled it out and built everything again.
And you need a closet to store it all in.
Yeah, if you have any amount of Heroescape, you really do need an entire column of shelves at least, or a utility closet somewhere. We have ours in one of those like 2x4 by 4 tubs
bin. Yep.
And it's an amazing game. I think they have. I should have looked this up. I think they have 4 or 5 actual dragon miniatures that are huge.
Yeah, huge.
They're like this tall from the thing. They're like this. It's amazing. Yep. They're really awesome. So that's my number 9, Heroescape.
Oh, very good pick. Very good pick. My number 9 is a cute little game that'll belt your brain. It's true. And it's called Dungeon Pets. From Vlada Chvátil and Czech Games Edition.
Good.
Dungeon Pets has a dragon. His name is Drago, and he likes princess-shaped cookies.
Is it Drago or Drago?
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
And it depends. When he grows up, it changes. You know, it was Peter at one point. Now it's just Pete. No, that's you got to grow up eventually. But Dungeon Pets is a worker placement game. Yeah. It's not only a worker placement game, but it's kind of like it's not a blind bidding game, but it's kind of that. You're bidding how many imps and gold you're going to do to get to take actions first, things like that. But you're collecting these cute little animals, monsters, including the dragon.
You clean up a bunch of poop, too,
You clean up a bunch of poop. You got to keep them in their cage. You got to keep Drago from getting mad at you and eating your imps, putting them in the infirmary. But it's a fun game. It's pretty brain-burning, which it's not super brain-burning, but it's got a nice depth to it.
Yeah, it's got depth to it. That's a good way to put it. I have played this before, and it's a great game. It just didn't make my list because of it's a little bit on the thinky side.
But it does have a dragon.
It does have a dragon. All right, my number 8 is a pandemic-like game.
What?
It's called Defenders of the Realm.
Oh, yeah.
Defenders of the Realm. This is a really neat thing where the viruses that you find in Pandemic, in Defenders of the Realm, they are different races of bad people that you are simply trying to keep at bay. The characters, it's a cooperative game. The characters are heroes of the realm, defenders of the realm that are trying to keep back all of these things. And the blue faction has this huge blue dragon.
Nice.
It's really cool.
I didn't remember that.
And it's a very fun game. It's like it's for me, I like it better than Pandemic because Pandemic is a little bit too close to reality sometimes, especially after the last few years. So I really like Defenders of the Realm though because it's the same feel, it's the same idea. I really enjoy cooperative games. But the fantasy setting just really works well for me, and I really enjoy it. I don't own it though. That's the only kind of big.
Is it still available?
I think so, but I've never searched for it.
I don't think I've never played it
in order to buy it. I just remember really enjoying it over the years. So that is Defenders of the Realm, my number 8.
Quick sidetrack talking about Pandemic being too close to real life.
Yeah.
The day that my job site shut down back in March of 2020 or whatever it was, I brought my foremans in the office when they were laying them off, and we played Pandemic. I'm not even kidding you. I taught all my foremans Pandemic the day I laid them off.
And then laid them off, or did you do it before?
They knew they were laid off.
They knew they were laid off. Okay.
So I brought them food and stuff.
That's a board gamer that's easing into the bad news. That's what that is.
All right, my number 8 is another kids game. Kids to Yeah, mid, probably like 10, 12, probably a good range for them. Hawken likes it though, and he's
Cool.
only 9.
Yeah.
But it's called Dragonwood.
Dragonwood.
Dragonwood is a
Man, I've never heard of this one
2015
either.
game from Game Right. In Dragonwood,
Game Right's a good company.
you're set collecting cards, and there's an action deck, or I can't remember what it's called exactly, but there's a deck that has events in it, but it also has baddies in it. And you're getting set collection, and you're either playing, and I don't remember the attacks, but you're either playing a run of numbers with different colors, or you're playing a flush, and numbers don't have to match, or you're playing a set of different colors with the same, but each of these, one's like a strike, and one's like a stomp, and one like a kick, so that depending on what you play as your set, that's how much damage you can do to the creature. You're just trying to set, collect, and then attack these monsters as they come out of the deck. And the 2 big bads in the game are 2 dragons that are picked randomly and shuffled into the deck randomly.
Oh.
And you got to beat them for the most points. So.
Okay.
Yep, Dragonwood.
Man, Dragonwood and Incubation. I got to write these down. Do you own this one still?
Yep.
Okay, my number 7 is now this one I think is going to be on your list.
All right.
At some point, I think it's going to be on there. But I don't know if your favorite version of this game has a dragon in it. I think it does, because that's pretty much what you're doing. In Clank, a deck building adventure, you're running away from a dragon.
I forgot about this game.
No, you couldn't have. You could not have. Clank is a fun game where you're trying to get down into the dungeon as deep as you can, because that's where all the really meaty treasures are, worth the most points, but then you have to get back out before the dragon stomps you. And that's probably not exactly what the theme is, but that's pretty much what it feels
That's
like.
what the theme is. You're going into the dragon's lair, you're stealing his treasure, and you're getting out.
Trying to get back out before he catches you.
He's trying to cook you.
And he's trying to cook you, that's right. I don't know that all dragons cook their food.
That's true, they don't.
But this is just a fun game. I've played a couple of different iterations. I know you've taught me Catacombs, I think is the one that you taught me. I've played the Legacy version of the game. I can't remember what it's Heroes.
Clank Legacy?
Yeah, Clank Legacy.
Acquisitions Incorporated.
Acquisitions Incorporated, there you go. And I was thinking Heroes Incorporated, but that's probably something else. But I've really enjoyed this game over the years. My favorite one is Clank in Space, though.
Mine too.
But I really enjoy this one. So it had to make my list. That's my number 7, Clank, a deck-building adventure.
Indeed. Going against the dragon. All right, my number 7 is a game that definitely has a dragon in it.
If he says that, that means he's expecting some kind of pushback.
Oh, yeah. No, you can't push back. It's the dragons in the expansion.
Oh.
My number 7 is called Role Player.
Okay.
Nobody's ever heard of Role Player before.
Yeah,
Thunderworks Games, but I know I'm joking. But in Role Player, with the Monsters and Minions expansion, you are making your ideal character by drafting dice and getting equipment and everything else to, at the very end of the mission or at the very end of the game, you have to go up against the big bad, which happens to be a big giant dragon. So
there you have it.
There you have it.
So it's only the last person that you or the last bad thing that you have to fight is the dragon?
Yeah, there's several different big bads, like final bosses, but he's one of them.
Oh, he's just one of the big bad
Yep.
guys. All right, well, I'll let that pass because there might be another one that's higher up on my list that might be an even more of a shoehorn than that.
So that's my D&D one.
That's your
Role Player and the dragon.
I don't know if that counts as a D&D one.
What?
I don't think it does. It's not D&D.
Oh.
It's RPG-ish.
All right. Gonna make a super character.
Yes.
That's kind of stupid, usually. Or not very dexterous or something. There's always something wrong with him, but...
It's always strength. Really, really ugly. No charisma.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, my last one, my number 6, my last one for the bottom 5 is one that I don't know that you have ever played. It's actually on my shelf. I don't know that you've played it, though.
Okay.
But it is one of the dudes that you have to fight against in the game. But in this game, you are basically the three little pigs trying to build a whole bunch of little
I have not
buildings
played this.
in the forest, and you have these people that come in every once in a while and try to make things hard for you. And it's called the Grim Forest.
No, I
by
haven't played
Druid
it.
City Games. It's a really fun game. It's a beautiful game as well. It is super aesthetic, but the gameplay is really fun on top of that. So if you haven't tried this game out, you need to try to play it because
Do I get to be the dragon to roast the little pigs?
negative.
Oh, darn it.
Nope, there's no bacon in this game. You're trying to be victorious as the pigs.
The pigs, right on.
So that is my number 6, the last of the bottom 5 for me, The Grim Forest by Druid City Games.
Very cool. And you own that one.
I do.
Nice. All right, my number 6, the last one in the bottom 5, is a game that I love very, very dearly. But the only reason it's at number 6 is because I'm shoehorning it in. Kind of. My number 6 is a 2020 game from Luke Laurie and Breaking Games called Dwellings of Eldervale. Dwellings of Eldervale not only has a dragon, it has the mother of dragons. And in a game where the monsters are moving around the board and screaming at you and growling at you while they do it, because they have sound bases that actually...
You actually got that perk?
Yeah. That actually have the sound bases. The mother of dragons, each of the monsters in the game is really a modifier to board state. But the mother of dragons is like the ultimate, and she modifies the board state significantly.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
Yep.
I haven't played this game in a long time. We probably need to break it out again because I do remember super enjoying it.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
very cool. All right, that is our bottom 5. We're going to end this video right here and right now because if you want to see the top 5, you've got to come over to the Flipside. That's where we do a lot of other type of content creation. We'll have our top 5 coming up next Monday in just 2 short days. Well, actually, I guess it's 3 because this is going to go up on a Friday. So they got to wait Saturday and Sunday. And then on Monday,
and
it'll be
most
up.
of Monday.
No, I'll have it up at 9 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. So I'll have it up by noon on the following Monday. So if you want to do that, come on over to the Flipside and check it out because we'll have our top 5 games with dragons in them next Monday. So thanks for joining us. We certainly appreciate it. Also, check out all the other stuff they have here on the Dice Tower. They're great folks. They do a good job, and you'll enjoy it as well. So from now until then, I'm Sam.
I'm JT.
We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side.
Take care.
See ya.